Another one of these survival type channels. I just downloaded a random load. This one is entitled Future Proof Survival. And it's got a voiceover. I'm your black sounding kind of man from Alabama. There's only 2 black American accents on the entire planet. Ignore the billion black people. There's only 2 black accents on the entire planet. Ghetto. Ghetto and cotton fields. Those are the only 2 black accents on the entire planet. According to YouTube, this video, it's 9-minute video. 30 seconds in, I'm laughing because it's saying the 8 survival items military veterans actually carry. 8 survival items. Now, I would have said the very first thing would be a knife. The very first thing for me would be a knife. That would be survival thing, a knife. With a knife, it's a basic tool. You can use that to make other things.
They work when it counts. Here they are. Number 1, and any veteran will tell you this without a moment's hesitation, a real tourniquet.
It's pronounced tourniquet, not tourniquet. There's no K in the word. There's no K-I-T in the word. It's tourniquet. It's French. Yeah, twat. He's talking about carrying something that weighs 500 grams, minimum 500 grams, that you may or may not use at some point in the future if you're being eaten by a bear. To be perfectly honest, if you need a tourniquet, a tourniquet, then you're already dead if you're on your own. It's that simple. Because it takes more than one hand to use. You can't just put it on with one hand. So you're going to hope that the tourniquet will be used on your leg, below your thigh. Just above the knee or lower, you're fucked. Because you can't put it on with one hand, unless you've got a really good set of teeth. And you can't use much above the kneecap, because if you get slashed across your upper thigh, you're dead anyway. You'll bleed out. It's that simple. Unless you've got a surgeon handy who's not going to give you asbestos. So tourniquet, waste of time. You are actually better off just using a piece of paracord and then slacking it off every now and again. Paracord or a bit of string or rope with a stick to tighten it, so you can loosen it every 15 minutes or so. That's what you need. You don't need a tourniquet.
Starvation, faster than exposure. When you have a catastrophic arterial bleed, you don't have hours. You have about 3.
Okay. The place where he's actually bleeding, there is no point in putting a tourniquet on that wound. For one thing, well, for me, my testicles are in the way, but also, you'll bleed to death. It's that simple. Or you're going to lose your leg. So lower than that, yes. There, no. And they say bleed to death in 3 minutes. You'll be unconscious in half a minute. And by the time you unpack your tourniquet and unpack and get it unwrapped from all the 5 million layers of plastic and safety things, you'll be dead.
3 minutes to live. The prepper community obsesses over buying $200 knives,
blah, blah, blah.
not a handheld GPS. Though dressed, and the veteran will first spend $30 on the one-piece 3 minutes to live. The prepper community obsesses over buying $200 knives and $500.
No, we don't. Well, I'm not a community prepper. So I'm not. I can't be bothered. But I don't bother with that. I've got my knife, which cost me £5. The knife I use more than anything else. The knife I've used more than any other knife. It's so small you can't even see it. There we go. There. That is a knife I've used on my little travels more than any other knife. It's a 1-inch blade with a little saw thing on the end. I've used that more than any other fucking knife. More than your big crocodile killing knives. Because you don't need it. That cost me, I think, 60p. And it's a really nice piece of steel.
$100 backpacks. A veteran will first spend $30 on the one piece of gear that directly stops the single fastest killer in the field. It can be applied with one hand,
No,
under
it can't.
stress, in the dark.
No, it bloody can't. Because you need two hands to unpack it. You might be able to take the thing in your hand and apply it with a hand, but you need two hands to get it out of its bag. You need two hands to open the packet, because it's not just a loose thing, it's in a packet. So no, you can't. You might be able to apply it with one hand, but you can't actually get it out of the bag with one hand. So yeah, this is bullshit. The first thing you're going to get is not going to be a tourniquet. For crying out loud.
And luxuries fail. Their batteries die. Their screens crack. They lose signal. A tritium-laced lensatic compass is a masterpiece of analog reliability.
A tritium is a fancy way of saying radioactive. The reason why it glows in, all they're saying is buy a compass with a glow in the dark thing. That's all it is. Tritium is a bullshit made up American word which basically means it glows in the dark. That's all it does. It glows in the dark. It's actually radioactive. So I don't need to type into Google to look up these things because I know from experience. Yes, it will glow for 100 years because it's radioactive. Personally, I'd rather not carry asbestos, radioactive things with me. Interesting how they keep wanting you to buy expensive things that kill you.
It requires 0 batteries. The tiny glowing tritium vials will illuminate the dial for over a decade, allowing you to navigate in complete darkness.
If you need a compass,
from blistering heat to freezing cold, and in a scenario where an electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, has fried all modern electronics, your compass will work just as it...
What is the actual point in having a compass? Ask yourself that. What is the point of having a compass? If you don't have a map to use in conjunction with a compass, if you don't have, water, food, shelter, the essentials of life, shelter, water, food, those are your essentials. Shelter, water, food. Not a compass. A compass is only needed if you're travelling over a long distance. Not from one house to the next hill. You can see the bloody hill. You know where it is. A compass is only used in terrain where you cannot see where you're going. Where the thing is so far away you can't see it, or if it's stuck in the woods. And there are plenty of ways to navigate without having to use a compass. Especially one that's radioactive.
Did the day it was made. It's a heavy-duty, precise tragedy.
Blah, 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 blah.
That comes folded in a tiny square. Those things are practically useless. They tear the moment you unfold them. They're noisy, and they're strictly a one-time use item.
No, they're not a strictly one-time use item because I've got one. Not the blanket, but I've got a... where is it actually? Did I actually tidy it up? I did tidy it up. Yeah, it's basically a foil-lined bin bag with the arms and head cut off with a little hood. And it's brilliant. I've used it quite a few times.
Veterans carry the thicker military-grade Mylar blankets. These are
Mylar blanket, which is a brand name piece of kit that will cost you a lot of money, $100 pounds.
They tear the moment you unfold them. They're noisy, and they're strictly a one-time use item. Veterans carry the thicker military-grade Mylar.
Yeah, what he's talking about is a piece of polytunnel plastic. A piece of do you know, that's how you've got the youngish looking black man soldier wearing the hat with their flag on and a non-American old white man. Are we spotting a common theme? Get rid of all the old white people, replace them with brown. Mylar blanket, yeah, do you see how big it is? Do you see how big and heavy looking that is? To carry that around as an emergency blanket. I've got a little tarp that came free with my hammock, and it's brilliant. It fits in a pocket. It would fold up smaller than that little hat he's wearing. And it covers, I think it's 3 by 2 meter. It can wrap around me quite comfortably and use it as a shelter for my entire hammock. And there's a damn sight better than that. What next on this expensive stuff you can buy from America that is completely useless?
Mylar blankets. These are usually around 5 millimeters thick and often reinforced. They're designed to be reusable.
What he's actually describing is I call it an oven ready. That's what I call it. I call it my oven ready. I use it inside my hammock as a wind protection because it's exactly what he's describing. It's foil on both sides with a little bit of 5mm foam in the middle, and it's brilliant. Yeah, it cost me £5. What he's talking about is a brand name thing from America, which will cost you $100,000 million, probably about £200. And it's just as good, just as prone to getting ripped. Mine's brilliant, and it cost me, I think, a £5.
A quality Mylar blanket reflects over 90% of your radiant body heat back to you, which is the critical factor in preventing hypothermia, the silent, insidious killer that...
What he's not telling you is that the main thing that will keep you from hypothermia is pneumonia. And that is, if you have it wrapped around you too much, you get damp inside, which goes into your lungs. Not like being on a bus with pensioners.
That most people never train for. It can be used as a waterproof ground tarp.
Blah, blah, blah.
And this is a critical one, a dual water system, specifically a Sawyer mini filter and...
He keeps going up brand name stuff. Right, you know about a dual waterification thing. Waterification tablets are great as an emergency thing, not as a thing you want to use a lot. They sell them by the bucket in America, these tablets. If you're using more than 6 in succession, if your only water supply is with water purification tablets and you're using it for more than 6 days, your intestines and your stomach lining will rot. That is how, if it's strong enough to kill bacteria and crap like that, it's gonna melt your intestines. It's that simple. So all this stuff he's got here is bollocks. As an emergency, 1 tab, maybe 2, like chlorine tabs, yes. Any more than that, you're just gonna, well, you're committing suicide, basically. I've got one of these little straw things, and it's not a brand name one. It cost me, I think, £1 or £1.50, and it's brilliant. It's actually better than that because mine has got a threaded nozzle, so you can fit a standard pop bottle on it. Just fill it with water, and that would just drain straight down through naturally. I think it's called like a straw thingy. Anyway, yeah, he's talking about all these different things and all these different chemicals. Lots of plastic, lots of chemicals. What's next? Still on his water pump. Lots of other stuff. What's next?
But when your life depends on a blade, you need a single, solid, fixed piece of steel with no moving parts that can fail. A folding knife has a pivot, a lock, and other mechanical points of weakness. Under the extreme stress of batoning wood for a fire or carving a shelter component, those are the points that will break.
And yet the image he's showing is of the blade breaking. So I do have a fixed blade knife. It's only about a 7 or 8 inch one. And now I'm going to use it. But because I actually walk, it's more weight to carry. So I carry my little thing, or I've got a very thin blade that I have in my walking stick, my mountaineering stick. But yeah, this is great if you can carry all the extra weight. Having a good blade is handy, is good, but you don't have to have a crocodile killing fucking knife to do it.
Break. A good fixed blade from a brand like Mora, K-Bar, or ESC can often be had for under $50.
No, you fucking can't. Those are all $200 plus.
Shelter, and serves as a last-ditch defensive tool. It is brutal.
It's not a last-ditch defensive tool. Your last-ditch defensive tool is a pointy stick.
Survival, simplicity equals reliability. If this is saving you money and preventing bad decisions, consider subscribing. We drop tactical...
Blah, 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 blah.
...talks about it, but they're what separate the amateurs from the profession.
Oh, it's just so funny. I just love the black sound and accent from cotton fields.
Number 6, and this one surprises people every time. Ranger bands. What are they? They're just sections cut from a standard bicycle inner tube. They cost practically nothing to make yourself, and yet the utility is off the charts. Veterans use them for everything.
You want a Ranger band? You can get it from you go and buy yourself a bicycle inner tube. Okay, just to point out, I don't know what it's like in America. Never been, never want to. But the rest of the planet, we don't use inner tubes anymore because we have these things on bicycles called tubeless tires. I haven't seen an inner tube for sale or used in 20 years. Bikes, cars, bicycles, they don't use inner tubes. They use tubeless tires. This is just like more cretinous stuff from people who think it's the 1950s. So if you want to use a Ranger band, then you can just go and get yourself a hair tie. Oh look, it's a hair tie. Kind of handy when you've got long hair. But you can get yourself a pack of hair ties, 100 for £1. Hair ties. Elasticated thing, rubbery things, yeah. Fucking inner tubes. Nobody, what are you going to do? Special order an inner tube for 50 quid just so you can chop it up? Now it might have been a good idea 40 years ago when inner tubes were still a thing. Nobody's used inner tubes in decades. Well, maybe America's different. Maybe they're still stuck in the 50s in America.
You wrap them around your gear to silence it, preventing
Yeah.
They can be stretched over a mat of petroleum product. A single Ranger band, when lit, will burn hot.
Oh, so now we get to why they're promoting inner tubes. Because they're made from oil.
And long, even in damp conditions, a quality headlamp with a red light mode. Preppers almost always carry a flashlight.
No, we don't. I never carry a flashlight. See, a flashlight is a thing that you have to have batteries for. I've got one. I've never used it, but I've got one. I use rechargeable. Otherwise, you've got to carry loads and loads and loads and loads of batteries, which run out anyway. The headlamp, I've got one. It cost me £1.50, rechargeable. Lots of different light modes. The only reason you want a light mode is if you're expecting a military pickup. That's the only reason you want a red light mode. Because the red light, blue light, sometimes green light, is used to signal aircraft to reduce the chance that you're going to be seen from the ground by other people. So if you're in a military situation, expecting a military transport, expecting military to come and rescue you, yes, you want a headlamp with a red light. Otherwise, you fucking don't.
A veteran almost always carries a headlamp. Why? Because it keeps color vision in daylight, and rods for black and white struggle to readjust. It's in your ability to see in the dark. Maintaining situates
blah, blah, blah.
And almost no prepper carries one. It's a written emergency contact card.
This is not a worst case scenario thing. A plastic bag with another plastic bag with a plastic pen and a waterproof pen and more plastic cards with all your personal details of your relatives. Not just your personal details, but your relatives' personal details. So if you do get picked up by the zombies, they know where to go and get your munch on your relatives. Yeah, it's all about just getting people's personal details and giving it to other people.
Waterproof bag. And the grid coordinates of your primary and secondary rally points. Veterans call this...
And tell people where you're going to be going so they can go and pick up your mates. Wow, this is cretinous.
Who to call, or that your alertable non-electronic card is how Tritium Compass, a heavy-duty Mylar blanket, a dual water system...
Is that it?
A fixed blade knife, Ranger bands, a quality headlamp with a red light mode, and a...
Are you kidding me? That says... Is that the 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are the 8 essential things that Americans want for their prepper. An expensive belt, a radioactive compass, a ground sheet, lots and lots of drugs, lots and lots of plastic, lots and lots of rubber. Wow, that shit. Okay, that was informative. The knife, I would agree with, but not the brand names. What is the point in getting a brand name knife when you can get rated steel? The steel stuff I get from China is actually rated. The stuff you get in America isn't. They just say it's American steel. But what they don't tell you is the actual chemical composition 304 is a standard for high strength steel. So when you're buying a knife from China, they actually tell you what rating the metal is. America won't do that because their quality is non-existent. Yeah, that's well, crap.